How? We have got kings bottom right, and it's a spicy little flop. We're going to have a little bet. We're going to call, and I think we're just going to shove turn here. Just think about it for a little bit. Do a little bit of Hollywood. Eights? Sixes? Something? Ace-8 against the Jack-7, the classic race. Wasn't really the classic race, was it? Just trying to make it sound more entertaining than it was. However, speaking of entertainment, we've got some pretty interesting stuff going on here. It's been a tough session, hasn't it, until now? I did come second in the $22 rebuy, guys, to another player from Japan. And what was his name? We played against him the other day as well. He was on the final table. I think I'll just call here with the jacks. Interesting turn. Well, I don't think he's checking aces or kings or a queen. So I think I will bet. I think I might even just shove, to be honest. It's only a $5 tournament, so these guys could call with pretty wide ranges. I feel like this guy might have just been betting with ace king, or he's got like 9s or 10s. And I feel like this guy... I mean, he could just have a 5x or clubs, or even just a 6, or even just something like king 4 and just overcall the flop. Sometimes, you know, this guy actually has aces and just got scared, or maybe this guy has a set of 4s and is trapping us with 5-7, but I think that's a bit, you know, being overly scared, I feel. Hopefully this guy doesn't have queen 6, that would be a bit annoying. When he snaps like that, it kind of feels like he's got 5-7 of diamonds. I'm even going to call the suit. Oh, he's got 8s. And that's the thing about, you know, this level of player in the $5, is that you can jam pretty wide for value. Expect to get called by some fishy hands. I mean, that was a pretty horrific call. Yeah. But that's why these low stakes games are so easy. And so it has been a really tough day, but somehow we're still actually breaking even, thanks to that second in the 22 rebuy. And what did we get earlier? I don't know. We got like a 4th or something in... What was it? I don't know. But we got at the other final table. It's just a blur of final tables this week. We seem to be making 3 or 4 final tables a day, don't we? But today certainly didn't play very well today. Probably my worst session in the last 2 months, I'd say. Felt like I was a little bit off my game, but didn't run that well either today. But still might end in profit, which is good. That's always positive. To not play your best and not run that good, but still have a chance to make profit, that's always a good thing. So it really depends on these 2 middle tournaments, because we are 4 of 7 in the 27 turbo, and there's 800 up top. And we're 5 of 16, it's the bubble up here. And that one's got 735 up top. So a couple of chances. Pretty close to the money bubble in the Hot 22. We're 27 of 63, 53 get paid. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think I will fold the 3-7. We'll jam this, of course, if it folds around, but this guy seems to be pretty active. I dare say he's going to call that raise, because it's a very short stack, and didn't have that much equity on the turn, did he? So unfortunately, the short stack doubles. Probably could have called that, actually. Pretty small bet. So I think here, M5, I think I will jam this. Looks like a decent spot to do it. Ace Jack top right. Well, I didn't mean to fold. That's pretty annoying, running into aces. I have to settle for 7th there. Didn't realize I didn't have a time bank here. What would I have done? I kind of leaning towards flatting, to be honest. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards flatting just because it's the bubble. And I don't know. I don't have any notes on this guy. He does have a fairly good spot to raise and put a little bit of pressure on in the bubble. But he does also have a couple of decent sized stacks behind and the big stacks on the button. So I feel like he's probably not going to be too wide. Yeah. Probably would have flatted, I guess, and just seen a flop in position with ace-jack in the bubble there. But it's very tempting to 3-bet or shove. Put pressure on him. Pretty close spot. So break time, guys. Be right back. I'll just leave the stream running. Let's do it. So the bubble did burst. I was just watching this highlights, well, not highlights. I was just watching this match from the GPL. Feder Holtz versus Duhamel. I guess we're just going to jam top left. We don't have much fold equity, but he might call with some hands. We dominate. This is one of those spots where you don't want to jam too wide as a bluff, but you can jam a little bit wider for value because these guys will call wide to try and get your bounty. But he had Ace King. There you go. Holtz is a beast. Duhamel is a station. It's beast versus station. I might raise the ace queen actually here. I have raised on this guy before. He might have had enough of it and 3-bet and then we can shove. Yep, thought so. Just a bit of metagame there. This is such a bad call by Duhamel. This is a crazy hero call. He calls here with ace high. I have no idea how he does it. He just never folds. Duhamel just never folds. Yeah, I was just going to say, you might think about check raising. Holtz laughs and says calling station. Anyway. It's like live pro versus online crusher. Taken to school. Duhamel's being taken to school. Sorry guys, I did turn the system audio back off. That must have been a little bit annoying before. And apologies for the munching of the pineapple. I did say I was never going to eat on stream. After hearing myself eat on stream one day, I thought that's probably the most annoying noise I've ever heard in my life. And here I am munching pineapple, so apologies for that. I'll have to try and make up for it with some sensational play. Starting with these kings. So we're going to full bet. I don't know what I would do here if it was like... Just thinking if it was like regs, what I would do. I mean, we just look pretty nutty when we do that. Wow, this is kind of an annoying spot with King Queen. We only have M7, so we don't really have that much fold equity on a 4-bet. Ugh, what to do. I know what I would do if it was suited. It's pretty close. I think because it's bubble, we have to fold. You know, it's 58 left. 58 left and 53 get paid, so they're just hedging towards a fold there. Three of 14, still 33 freeze out. I like our chances here. Absolutely no regs that I'm aware of left in the field. There's probably one or two lurking potentially, but I don't think so. Doesn't seem like there is. I just closed down 888 before, and I just making sure that it wasn't regged in anything before I close it down. You know, sometimes you... Well, I've done that before. I've closed down the site and then, oh, hang on a minute. I think I was in that, you know, $35 freeze out or something. I haven't been doing that well on 888 the last couple of weeks. You're going to have to reload on there. It's pretty rare for me to reload. This is pretty close with Queen 2 suited. Guess I'll fold to his M3 jam. Close spot. Really close. Might just take a look at it actually. Oops. What do we need? ICMizer. Chip EV. We'll get this one done. I guess I will see bet. Do have some good turns. Probably just shove on a diamond. So just loading up ICMizer here, guys. I'm going to paste the hand in. And I'm going to look at it from chip EV. We can see that we should be calling with 33% of hands. So Queen 8 suited is a call, but Queen 2 suited is indeed a fold. And that's presuming that villain is pushing with this range. Which looks about right. Although he might push with these. It's very short. Yeah. So if he's pushing that range a little bit too loose, we can call down to Queen 6 suited. But Queen 2 is still a fold. And it's going to cost us a small blind if we make the mistake of calling. If he's pushing a little bit too wide. If he's pushing the correct Nash range, it I love the way it just changes. I love the way you just refresh it and it's just like, hey, how about this time we go with this range? All right, let's just calculate it again. We're on chip EV. Yes, we are on chip EV. So he's supposed to be jamming 38. That's. Oh, it's still. That's why it's still got the range that I edited. So I'm surprised it didn't. Normally it changes the range when you click Nash equilibrium. For some reason it hasn't seemed to change it. It's weird. Might reload the hand back in. Paste hand history. Calculate Nash. You should be jamming. It is right. You should be jamming 38%. Okay. I swear it said 33 before. I swear it said 33, but it's saying 38 now, which means we are calling with this range here. Queen 5 suited plus. So it was a little bit closer than I thought. But we're losing half a small blind. What's the blinds? 300, 600? 400, 800. Half a small blind. Losing a couple of antes. Not a massive mistake. Folding aces would be a big mistake. That'd be costing us like 9 big blinds. Which is quite a lot when you consider how short we are. How short he is. Is that right? Apparently. 4, 5, 6, 7. Good spot to bet small here. Might just get it in with weaker aces, flush draws. We might get some value from a 10. I guess bottom left I'm going to fold here. We could have the best hand, but he has M15. I'm not really pumped about cold calling M15 jams with 10s. When we don't really know enough about the player. So, I mean, at least I'm happy I made the fold before with the Queen 2 suited. I mean, I was pretty sure it was a fold, but I thought it'd be close. If I had like Queen, I think I would have been calling pretty correctly, actually. I think Queen 3 I would have folded. Queen 4 I suited. I don't know. Queen 5 and 6 around there I feel like is where I would have called. So that's about the right mark. Good to know we're in the ballpark. I think I will raise this guy when he just limps button. This hand is a hand that plays pretty well post. And I just don't think he's going to limp jam us that much. I think I'm going to just check call here. It's a little bit unorthodox, I know, but I just don't think he has that many pairs. Like, I think he would bet a pair on the flop or check raise it pre, or just raise it pre rather than limp call check this flop. So he could, I guess, have like ace-4 suited, but there's no guarantees that will fold on the flop anyway. So what I'm really getting at is I think we actually have the best hand a lot. Like, I think he actually has 10-jack, queen 10, king jack a lot. So I feel like we have the best hand. And so I'm going to check call. Occasionally he's just got like ace-4 of diamonds, which is annoying. But, well, I said diamonds, but it was offsuit. It's a little bit annoying, but yeah. I didn't think he'd really limp calling with like ace rag, to be honest. So slight miscalculation led to a slight mistake, but I don't mind the way we played it. It was kind of an annoying hand on a number of levels. Just the fact that, well, he only had 3 outs on the turn. Well, I mean, he had the best hand, but 3 outs to get value. And I dare say if we had a bet any straight, he probably folds. Other than the river, obviously. So it's kind of an annoying hand the way it worked out. But we get rewarded with queens now. We get rewarded with queens for being a calling station there with king high. And they just fold. It's pretty tilting. So we're 4 of 12. Just hanging in there. And 34 of 44 in the hot 22. Still some action coming. Still some action. Lot of action. Sorry guys, I'm just saying it's profitable to jam the king 8 here, especially when you're going to flop top pair. It's going to make it, well, we're going to river 2 pair. That's going to make it really profitable. Yeah, nice spot to get actually. 19 of 42 now. See if our limpy friend limps again. Mr. Limpy, come on. Yep. I think if this guy shoves the M7, we just have to call with ace 8. He just limps. Uh-oh, we need a queen. King. Nope. That is the end of the big 33. I think I will call against this guy. I've got him marked in purple, which is my fish color, man of sky 1. Ukrainian guy. We're getting 16 to 1-ish. And some chance the big blind comes along. Might not necessarily be enthused to call this against good player, because I think it's going to be a little bit harder to get value post, but against a fish. Come on, ace jack of clubs. One time. This is so sick. I almost feel like we're good here. Oh man. I guess I'm gonna fold. The question is, would he c-bet bluff? Like, I feel like he would. Like, if he had like Jack Queen of clubs, I think he's just gonna c-bet small and just hope to win. So I feel like he has a little bit of showdown in some way when he checks, which probably means he can have, you know, a heart or some sort of little pair that has a heart or something. Okay, I feel all refreshed for this final table coming up. Gonna call with Queen 2 suited. I'm 6.5. Big stacks opened early. Don't expect him to be too wide, but so a 7 of 9 this final table. And we got him 8.5. And it's a pretty motley final table. No supernovas to be seen. Good chance, I think, for us. Sorry guys, I'm a bit drained at the moment, if you can't tell. Hasn't been that big a session, but I don't know, it just really took it out of me today. I feel like there was a lot of tough spots and I don't know. Who knows what it is? Diet, weather, exercise? Should definitely be exercising more. 7-9 off here, I guess I'm leaning towards a fold here. I mean, well, that's kind of close, isn't it? It'd be, let's just say 1300 to call to win 7. I guess we can't fold actually. What's the ante seem big? It is 9-handed as well. We only need 20% equity, like 19-ish. Is that what it's saying? I guess so. And I wonder what our equity, I guess our equity would be about 30-ish. It's hard to say now where there's multi-way. But if we divide our pot odds by our equity, we need to realize our equity 62% of the time, which I think is doable. I normally expect to realize my equity around 65% of the time. So it's a bit borderline. For those of you that haven't done the Poker Nerve Road to Success course, that are a bit confused with what I'm saying now, what I'm really just pointing out is a lot of people make the mistake, pros even, of just going off their equity and saying, well, for example, with 7-9 offsuit there, we're getting 4-1. We only need 20% equity. Let's play. Because we think we have around 30% equity against his range. The reason why I'm saying we have around 30, we'll talk about that first, is just because with 7-9 off, against his opening range of something that looks like this, let's say, you can see that we have around 30% equity, 32% equity. So a lot of people say, well, look, we only needed 20% equity when we calculated our pot odds because we were getting 4-1. And look, we have more than that. So of course we can call, we have 30% equity-ish, right? But that's a mistake when people presume that, because they presume that you are always going to get your share of the pot. And that's not true. When you have a hand like 7-9 off, especially against a player who's UTG that has initiative, you will not get that share, if the player's competent. Because a lot of the times the flop will come ace-7-5, you check, they bet, and you fold because they're UTG and they have initiative. And they've got king-queen, and you folded the best hand. So that's a time when, you should have been able to, you had the best hand, you folded. Sometimes the board will come jack-7-3, and we'll check call, and then the turn's a king, and they barrel with ace-queen, and we fold. So there's all these situations where, not only that as well, we might not get to realize our equity. I was going to jam that. Value bet as well as we should, because we're out of position. 12, 25, 630. I guess I'm just going to jam. Well, no, actually, I'm going to 3-bet. 48, 54. I mean, he might just make the mistake of thinking that he actually has fold equity. So yeah, you don't just presume that, well, I'm getting 4-1, which is 20%, and I have 30% equity, so I'm going to call, because you have to think about how often you're going to realize your equity. And so what you do is you divide your pot odds by your equity. So the pot odds are about 4-1.2 divided by our equity, 30%, and that's 66, which is about the borderline. Against good players, you're probably going to realize your equity out of position about 65% of the time. Against good players, it's going to be maybe very, very top players, it might be a little bit less. Against donkeys, it's going to be higher. It could even be as high as 100%. We might always get to realize that equity. We might even get to realize more than our equity, because we have the ability to outplay our opponents post-flop. So that's what I'm really talking about when I'm talking about equity realization in this instance. So you've got to be a little bit careful. It's easy to say, okay, we only need 20% equity and we have 30, let's call 7-9 off. But how often do we really get to realize that equity? We really need to realize it around 65% of the time, which makes it very borderline, because in my experience, I would say normally I go in daytime sessions like this, I expect to realize my equity out of position maybe 75 to 80%. So you probably could get away with a call. But you've also got to remember that, he's UTG, he does have initiative, and 7-9 off is a pretty crappy hand. So that's why I was saying it was so borderline, even though we were getting good pot odds. So just keep that in mind the next time you're debating calling, especially in this situation where we've got a bubble factor as well, some ICM at play. So yeah, just keep all of that in mind next time. I think I will open. Yeah, let's go for it. Stay active. All right. This would be pretty deep to get it in, but I think we can 3-bet. He's only 2-betting a limp, so his range is still fairly wide. We are M20 though, so I wouldn't be thrilled if he re-raises, that's for sure. But I think we still can get enough value out of this hand by 3-betting. If he shoves here, it'd be a pretty tough spot. Wow. He like re-clicks. I think I'm actually going to fold. If he's got ace-king good on him. He could have ace-king. It's a bit gross when he's got ace-king here, but... Wow, I love the other guys like just limps and then, just calls the 3-bet and then folds to the 4-bet. Like, just classic fish stuff. Obviously, wish I had just called now and tried to set mine. Or just played post in position, which I would do a lot of the time. But I opted to 3-bet at that time. I think if it wasn't a $5 tournament, I probably would just call. But because I expect these guys to just call 3-bets pretty wide and just do donkish stuff post, I decided to play it that way. I have no idea what I'm doing here with threes, but I'm not going to fold now that we can win a bounty. And he's only M5. But this hand should have 6, 12, 24, 36. I should have just folded this hand. This is how to misplay pocket threes as much as possible. And then somehow get there against ace 9. And then somehow double up and get a bounty and have a nice stack by misplaying a hand. That's the way I like to do it. Just play a hand as bad as possible and get rewarded. I have no idea how he jams ace 9 there. No idea. This guy's limping again, so we'll just try and isolate with ace queen. Guess I'll c-bet. If this guy shoves, I'll probably just call off for bounties. Now that he's called, I think I'll just jam here because he might have like king jack or 10 jack or jack queen, and I just don't think he's going to fold those hands. If he's got king queen or king 10 or something, it's just bad luck. We still have outs. King 10 he does, and we do have outs. This is going to be the tournament that's just like goes forever, isn't it? I've got to be honest, guys. I'm not going to lie here. These $5 tournaments, you're not going to see my best poker. Because they are the last tournaments of the day, and I mean, they're just going to still go for a very long time. I'm very regretful that I registered in them, to be honest. But now that we are here, we shall battle it out. I mean, I don't mind at the moment because I've still got 2 other tables going, but, we're 4 of 9 in this 33 freeze out, and we're 21 of 23 in the hot to trot 22. They're going to end pretty quick, those 20s, so I'm going to be left with a couple of $5 deep stack tournaments. It's going to be a bit painful, to be honest. There's going to be pain inflicted. So I feel like the Terminator, he cannot self-terminate. But if I could, I would like give you my mouse and you could lower me into the hot steel. You could terminate me. You could just jam, Jam any 2 would be like termination, Just keep jamming any 2. I really want to do that, but I cannot self-terminate. I just cannot waste money. Even $5, even a couple of ice creams. Wow, call. I think I'm just going to bet, and then if the purpley guy jams, just call off. And if this guy jams, probably just fold and hate life, I guess. Well, I don't think we can fold now, actually. They both just fold. We're going to lose Joe. We are 22 of 22. And we have him 2.2. We're pretty short to be 5 of 9 in this tournament. I mean, we only have around M8, 8.5. There are a few short stacks out there. It might not go too long. I will jam the King 9. Come on, ladies. Ladies. We got a pretty good stack to 3-bet jam, I guess. If we were a little bit shallower, it would probably be better in terms of being called, in terms of getting paid off. We're kind of just deep enough that we've got pretty good fold equity. At the same time, we've got kind of an awkward stack where we wouldn't really be 3-betting to fold that much. So our 3-bet range is just way heavily weighted towards value. But I think I will go for it anyway, just because we need to get chips. Well, 4. There's already 7 out there. I think I will just jam, actually. 8. Yeah, damn it. That would have got us back into it nicely. Mr. Mittelenberg. I wonder what he tanks with. Something fishy, I think. He's trying to work out. You've jammed. You've got a small pair. I'm going to call you. I have King Jack. Off. Oh, King 10. Off. Something great, wacky like that. We're going to watch some of this. Guess I'll fold the Jack 9 here, guys. I'd probably check 2-5 if I'm Feder here. I think it's a little bit too strong to value. I mean to bluff. Yeah. As much of a station as Duhamel is, I just love the way he's just seems like a boss, you know, he doesn't care about anything, he's won millions, he's just sitting in his kitchen grinding against debatably the world's best player on the GPL. What a life. He just looks like a boss, he's got his big beard. Duhamel. Just living the life. Just ran good at the right time. It's a weird spot bottom right. We do actually have the option to re-raise if we want to. It's pretty sick. But I'm actually think I'm going to do it. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Just think they fold so often, and we just got the best hand against gold poker. He's all in for like 4 bigs, 5 bigs. It's actually a pretty good hand to do it with ace 4. Not once he flops top pair though. That's annoying. It just seemed like they were being fish, and they're just way too deep to call off with their fish hands. Those 2 other guys that called. Wow, I don't think it's going to work again. I'm going to have to fold this one. Ace jack. Ace jack here. 5, 6, 7.5, M7.5. I guess it's just going to be a pretty standard jam here. I think Duhamel's gonna. Oh no, what was it? 3-bet pre. Can't value if it was 3-bet pre. I think Feder does go for value here. It's not a bad spot to check raise for Jonathan. But it's not really that quite deep enough, probably. I think if I was Duhamel, I would really consider check jamming here. I mean, it's so hard for him to call with an ace-x, and it just looks like he always has a one-pair hand. But he's not quite deep enough, I think. Might look a bit suspicious. It's a pretty weird hand. It shoves 5-7 suited. 6, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just going to shove. I'm not that interested in laddering up one place. Sorry, middle berg. I just want chips. And that's how we get them with turn sets. Five of 6. I think we can probably call Queen 10 here, getting 3-1. With Queen 10 in position. We are pretty sure we need to get chips. Could definitely imagine this guy getting a bit out of line in this spot. I think I'm just going to send this in. I'm just trying to keep it simple up there, guys. I'm not sure that's a great bet or not. Maybe just calling is best. it's more profitable, but King 9, I guess I thought. Maybe it is profitable. I mean, he tank called with Ace King. He might actually fold like Ace 8. I mean, somehow we still had like 30% equity in that spot. So it's never that bad, I think. I guess I'll just get Queen 10 in up here. Definitely might be regretting this defend here, guys, with the Queen 2. Definitely not a hand I'm normally calling with. But when he bets that small, and there's already 18,000 in there, I guess we're just going to be jamming. I mean, the only problem with these types of hands is they can be dominated when it's three-way. I mean, I don't mind as much heads up. But the other guy can have ace, queen, king, queen and stuff like that. These guys are both fairly deep. Might just show him the deuce there. Show him the deuce. Makes us look like we're crazy monkeying around. Alright guys, break time. Be right back. Okay, crew.